Narayana, salutations to the Parabrahma Paramatma, to the Lord, to our Ishta Devata, the Guru Tattva, Guru Parampara, our own Swaguru, and the Shruti Mata. With all the disciplines of life to be lived as a human being, with all the earlier initial practices of spirituality having done, what we have to achieve is the what do we call it as the mindfulness of the mind, being aware of our mind, and through that mind being aware of these four things. First thing is in the world outer, exactly what to do in conducive with our sadhana. Have we understood it, and are we exactly doing it that way? Full awareness, full mindfulness regarding this means that mind we have to gain through all our outer sadhanas, various, which becomes very clear about these four aspects. First one is exactly what we have to do in the outer world, and also oblique not to do. Are we that way doing exactly what to do and avoiding what not to do? That mindfulness and that ability. Second is when world is giving us various anubhutis for various reasons. Are we mindful of them and are responding to them in such a manner we are not disturbed in our sadhana? This clear understanding and mindfulness is the second achievement of the mind gained, conscious mind gained, let us say, through our so many of outer upasana sadhanas. Inside, same thing. Ki, what exactly ultimately to be reached to in the understanding as well as in the experience. Which stage of understanding we have to reach about the truth and experience. What exactly the experience we have to gain. Are we clear, mindful about this? Obviously, the fourth one, what are therefore the internal sadhanas of the contemplations to give clear understanding, the meditations to take us to that experience. Are we very clear in our understanding about these? And are we able to consciously do them and develop them in and through our everydays as many attempts as possible of meditation? The first thing is achieved through various, first of all, we have to come out of the what do you call the total laya avastha, mudha avastha of the chitta, where we are not aware of anything. From that to the level of sattoguna of awareness we have to come. देखो एक बात क्या है, as a human being, any substantial achievements, outer or inner, are gained only by conscious knowing efforts, not unconsciously, accidentally, automatically. ऐसा नहीं होता. जानबूझकर करके ही हमको पाना होता है. That is what human being is expected to be made as. है ना? अपने आप होना is not human life. करना is human life because human is karta and bhokta. He wants to be a bhokta, so he cannot be without karma phala. Karma phala cannot be without karma. Karma cannot be without being the karta. So have to be a conscious karta to get the karma phala, to become conscious bhokta, whether it is of the outer worldly things or spiritual. If the thing is not consciously done, Then karma done, karma phala gained, karma phala bhoga. All will be very vague. They are not up to the mark. Like any example, let us say coffee. So consciously you have to make coffee. Then it comes out, the karma phala. Then you involve in drinking the coffee consciously. Then there is a fulfillment. है ना, निद्रा के अवस्था में काफ़ी बनाया और आधा नीचे गिराया डालने के टाइम और इसे सोते सोते पिए. सो वी आर नॉट एंजॉइंग इट लाइक दैट. एनी एक्टिविटी एंड अचीवमेंट of nature worldly or nature spiritual. And that is why we have to bring our mind to that level of full awareness and consciousness. With that full awareness and consciousness gained, all the outer, as we said, two things managed through the various again understandings, dharma vyavahara, etc. What exactly I have to do, I know, and I am doing that. Like I am a Swami, I am an Acharya. So, what are my outer duties? Again, giving wherever our chance is there, the Shastra Jnana, that is the work I am given. Because no other thing I am aware, no other place I am put. I must be aware of it. And is it happening through me? How consciously I am doing it. Mind you, while trying to consciously do, depending on my inner vasanas nature, the disturbing lazinesses, disturbing distractions keep on coming. So, avoiding all of them, doing consciously what I am supposed to do is my steps towards evolution. So, too, I also, like anyone, will get variety of experiences from the world of heat and cold, or all of that, insult or respect, anything will come. So, how am I responding to them? Keeping in line my inner sadhana or even outer peace, or to be stable, or to avoid misery or downfall. These should be very conspicuous. An alert mind is expected to know all that. For that, the mind has to be trained to be alert. For that only, all our japa, upasanas, puja, stotra, bhajana, these are all variety of ways by which the mind is brought to the mindfulness. With that mind, the first two things outside. So you are in your own house as a husband or wife. Identity ka we are conscious of. Duty ka we are aware of. And in performing it, we are not leaving any stone unturned. Exactly what is to be done, we are doing. And also avoiding what is not to be done. This clarity is the one which gives peace and joy. Clarity in knowing and performing. What is dukkha is only two, na? Not doing what is to be done and doing what is not to be done. This is the definition of dukkha. Therefore, the definition of sukha is what? Avoiding what not to be done, doing exactly what to do. You know how clear it is. Then, when the world comes to you, so many people around bring so many experiences for various reasons. How we are avoiding the reactions, consciously responding. The difference between reaction and response is in reaction, that happening becomes an issue, that person becomes friend or enemy, whether it's object or person which has brought that experience to us, and I become strong bhokta jiva. These all three are reactions which are not healthy. In the response, the drushti is on sorting out the issue, not aggravating. In the response, the drushti is on maintaining that healthy relation with that thing or being, neither raga nor dvesha. And in the response, we maintain our peace and calm quietness inside. When this is done, it is response. Like that in every of the situations that are being presented to us. experience is present. Same way inside. Am I clear of the ultimate goal to be reached? No, this comes only through sufficient thorough study of Shastra under the guidance of our teachers for a long period of time. परमात्मा को पाना लक्ष्य है. Vaguely, everyone knows, even once he listens. But that never helps. 30 years back only he has known because 30 years back he heard from someone that knowing Brahman or Paramatma is the ultimate goal. But what did he do 30 years? Everything other than that. Therefore, do you say he has known that goal, that Paramatma should be experienced as the goal? He has, do you agree? Do we accept that he has known it? No. Therefore, the knowing the Paramatma achievement as the goal is in such a manner it has to be known that nothing other than that should remain in our heart as a desire, and thus all our abilities, efforts are poured only towards that. Then we say that we are convinced about the goal. Otherwise, under delusion, like earlier times or like anybody else, anything other than Paramatma, which cannot be, should not be the goal, but taken as goal, and we go on giving value, importance to it. Whole valuable, precious human life efforts are spent only for that meaningless pursuit. That's called samsara. So, therefore, with that Sattvagunatmaka mana, exposing it to Shastra, Shravana, Manana, Adhyayana, are we clear about, convinced about Paramatma? Prapti alone is goal. Because this is very essential. Without this, the sadhana required for it will never be done. When that is not done, the goal will be something else in the world. And that's the goal. The pursuit also will be of that type. That's called the samsara. This is what we are doing so far. Therefore, clarity why Paramatma has to be the goal and conviction. So, has our Sattvagunatmaka mana achieved it? First of all, has our mind come out of that distraction of Kshipta Vikshipta and laziness of the Muda Bhumika, and has it come to the Shuddha Ekagra Bhumi? See the four words which we have so thoroughly studied in Yoga Darshanam. Simultaneously, the same topic was discussed in Upanishad also, Bhagavatam also. Antarmukha Antakarana, Shuddha Antakarana, Sukshma Antakarana, Ekagra Antakarana. Do you remember all those we discussed long back? 3 महीने हो गए होंगे. With that mind, clarity of goal. And even now we can close eyes and see how we are clear convinced about Paramatma Prapti as the goal. And who will can say like that? The one who sufficiently studied Shastra and understood the nature of the Paramatma, therefore his glory, and from that standpoint understood everything else is mithya, delusion. How can a delusionary mithya thing can be the goal? Therefore, with wisdom, everything else as the goal is rejected, and with the same wisdom, Paramatma alone is a goal is fully accepted. Are we in that stage? In our antakar. Nahi hai, so we have not sufficiently did manana of the Shastra. Shravana we are doing. Then the additions to it, the sense of urgency to reach the goal, all the time the tadap, Hindi wala shabda, to reach to the goal like the lover wants to meet the beloved. Anything. Like a भूखा व्यक्ति खाना मिल जाए ऐसा प्यासा व्यक्ति पानी मिल जाए. The one who is feeling lonely wants a company. How much tadap? That is the thing. Do we have it? Like those 41 people in that Uttarakashi tunnel. Every second, only one thought. When will we come out of it? When will we? How terrible their mind must be. 150 hours are over. They are suffering there. You can't suddenly do something and it will collapse danger. So let us pray that they safely come out. Each and every one of young workers and all of them, all ages. So the tadap in them. They have to be every moment told through whatever means of communication. So we are doing our best, we are making the way out. Very soon you will be brought out. But inside them, only one every second, how much of that pain. We want to come out, meet our family. वो जीवों को होता है ना, we with all study of Vedanta also can't accept Prarabdha and maintain our peace of mind, and we want things to be convenient and conducive, not knowing that whatever is given itself is convenient and conducive. In that only we have to evolve inside, not outside. हमको ये सब नहीं सोचते हैं. How do we think those people? But they have that tadap. So that type of tadap, that's called the mumukshata, tivra mumukshata, or tivra jignasa, or tivra prapti ichha. These all have to be consciously added. A guru, a shastra can guide in this regard. That guidance, taking it and fully using that guidance in this way is in our hands. After this third is achieved, then the fourth one. Are we clear about step by step sadhanas to be done to accomplish the target or the goal? And where do we stand now in that path, in that sadhana marga? Being at that particular point, what is exactly to be done to reach to the next signpost or next milestone? Are we able to do it? Now, if this is there, we are a beautifully complete and matured spiritual seeker. This is given to us by the Shastra Jnana. That also by the Shastra Jnana, but there is more of outer activity where knowing and doing our duties and avoiding what's not to be done and responding to the world in such a manner, world is not disturbed, we are not disturbed. These are all, इसमें कोई परमात्मा नहीं है. It is an otherwise other compulsory thing which we call it as prarabdha, etc. There is no Bhagwan in it. But just antakarana shuddhi will be there. But in this thing, very conscious that the pure Parabrahma with this nature is my goal to be identified with clarity in this. And whenever we say Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, clearly the understanding of that should come, and that is a state of being, not a thing. And that state of being or experience should be the goal to me. I must reach it. In that, the clarity. And in the clarity of that, as a human being at the body senses level, these are those things I have to get to be happy. Are doing these are that upasanas, yajna. I must get a better life next time with better wealth and with better people around so that I can be happy. All of them should be washed away. इसको परा अपरा वैराग्य कहते हैं ना. So the one who is aiming at Brahmanubhuti cannot have anything else as goal. By the way, we have to be clear. They are contradictory. They are of opposite nature. So we have to see that also whether we are clear in our, it's all understandings. A crystal clear mind, purified mind, exposes to the Shastra, through the study, manana chintana of the Shastra, comes to the clear understanding of these things. There is no sentiment, there is no emotion, there is no cheating, there is no blackmailing, there is no forcing. ये सब संसार में होते हैं और जहाँ होते हैं उसी को संसार कहते हैं. In spirituality, there is no samsara. The Shruti Brahmana, our Guru Brahmana, our own Vicharana, and there are some Upamana examples. Through that study, like a scientist intellectually, we have determined this alone has to be the goal. We have accepted. It's all inner maturity. So too, these are my steps of sadhana to be done. And where do I stand now? And there's nothing to be, whatever, shy about where do we stand. Somewhere we are like, the greatest thing is we are human. That itself is great achievement. So need not feel shy or embrace, etc. At whatever the level of inner heart we have, filled with kama krodha. So what? I am recognizing it. I want to get rid of it. I am knowing the upayas, I am applying them, and I can see them reducing. And the next stage, and of the words of the Upanishads being remembered. Then the meaning is being murmured inside, and then on that the contemplation done. As we saw yesterday, day before, in Sri Ram Bhagwan's teachings of Rama Gita, three times he said in last four shlokas, Evam Nirantara Abhyasta, Sada Nirantara. Do you listen those words? Hamesha, Bina Aharnisham, the word used. Nirantaram, Sada Aharnisham means all the time in that mode. Like today, in the initial minutes we spoke, like a person who has some goal outside, how 24 ghante he is interested in it. In the same way, that Nirantaratva. Finish the obligation on the seat of contemplation. Only when we are called some urgent work outside, we are leaving that seat for accomplishing that and come back. This is called as Nirantaratva, to be reached before totally our antakarana establishes in deep meditation of the self. That won't happen unless the Nirantarata comes. If there are so many antarayas are there, interruptions, our attention is only on the interrupting things, not uninterruptedly on this self. Self finally is experienced only through uninterrupted attention to it. In that uninterrupted attention only, the pseudo self merges in the total self. Or the pseudo self is dropped, the real self is apprehended as me. Today it will be told by Ramji. Three, four examples. Like when the water is poured in the water, milk is poured in the milk. What a beautiful four examples he says. In that way, I emerge in my essential self. So to have all this clarity, the only way is regular Shravana of the Shastra and Manana Chintana according to what we have done, Shravana. If this pipeline way of study we don't do, we give freedom license to ourselves, we give anybody, everybody to influence us by listening to them, we just are not doing good at all. We are adding confusion to us. Like in the life, when you ask 10 people, they tell 10 things to be pursued as the goals. So you are confused. क्या करूं मैं यंगस्टर्स कोई कहता है डॉक्टर बनो कोई लायर के कोई चार्टर्ड अकाउंट बनो कोई कहता है गवर्नमेंट में कोई बैंक में जाओ his fellow goes with one doubt and comes with 10. He should only have faith in his father, some uncle, and अपना नेचर को देखकर डिस्कस करो डिसाइड. Don't ask everybody. Everybody tells from their own standpoint. In the same way, study our acharyas enough that pipelining. In that pipe, let us move. Why ask everybody in the world? They will tell different things depending on what they are in, what they like. Who can be more greater to us than our own Shastras? And the ones who are teaching Shastra as it is without any biasness or anything. How can anybody else be the higher corrective mentor or goal, for, what do you call, the guide for us? It's all only means guidance. They'll tell you what Upanishad Sodo, let us do that. Because they like it. It's not their mistake, it's our mistake to approach them. When you go to a drunkard, he will tell to Chalo papi lete. It's not his mistake, he's established in it. He can't tell anything other than that. Like in the worldly things, in the spirituality also, although everyone is great, when we get exposed, we get confused. निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि नहीं रहता है वो फिर डिस्टर्ब हो जाती. And so many other reasons also are there. That's why, one guru they go and stay with that guru only entire that brahmacharya period for the 18-20 years. And all the vritti vidya and brahma vidya, they learn from that guru and come without any confusion. In that way, we have to be very, very careful in all these aspects. And then doing all this willingly, joyfully. Because we have taken up this path. Nobody forced us. If you don't like, leave and go, but be happy wherever you are. You have come here, here also remove that Mind of sadness, which is trained even being in the world with the best of the things around. It has nothing to do with you are wealthy or without wealth. It's a mind which makes you feel frustrated, miserable. है ना, तृप्ति नहीं है. कल हमने देखा इन आवर इवनिंग माता रानी का देवी स्तोत्र में. डू रिमेंबर दैट? तुष्टि. If you have that santosha, tushti, you have all the riches. Or else, with everything around, miserable. That mentality is brought even in sadhana. Then, in a frowning face, frustrated, out of compulsion, we come to class, sit or listen, or do the homework of manana, chintana. If they are done with that frustrated, compulsory mind, compelling mind, we can't do it efficiently, effectively for long time. It will miss us. We will miss it. वो छूट जाता है. That's why the prema, that's why the श्रद्धा in what we are doing, ये बहुत जरूरी है. ये कोई बाहर से नहीं देगा. अंदर से, like I am doing these classes. Nobody is telling me from outside. Nobody knows that I am doing. One, two people also don't attend in YouTube. But who is inspiring me? From within only. The opposite thoughts also keep coming. Then to all of them, only one question I ask. Then what else I should do if I don't do this? Because I can't do anything else. Even if I know and do it, then I'm going away from Paramatma. See, not that I can't. 100 everything. If anybody can do anything, I too can do that. ऐसी बात नहीं है. लेकिन, but that's not right for which I am. It's my main point is my choice. If I choose the choice differently, leave it and go, then 1,000 avenues are there. But no, I want to grow spiritually. That's the only goal. And therefore, this is the only thing that can be done. They were again back on the track. Isn't it that obvious to every mind to have those contradictory thoughts? That's how, if it's not there, everybody would be spiritual overnight. You and I also will have, but how to answer them? How to keep ourselves continuously, consciously inspired? झूठ मूठ नहीं, सच्चे दिल से. यार इतना बढ़िया गोल भगवान ने दी, हमने ली, तो चलो लगे रहते हैं इसमें. Very deep inner feeling that I have chosen a best goal, I must pursue it with all joy while doing. Isn't it? It's a joy is by choice. Like the woman at home, by choice, frustratingly, she can cook the food for all her period of service of 50 years. There are some women with all joy and love, in spite of our all health issues, problems. Also, one can cook the food for our entire service period of 50 years. It's choice. सो टू पूरा शास्त्र सत्संग आध्यात्मिकता रोते रोते भी कर सकते हैं, हंसते हंसते भी कर सकते. For us, the best example is Gurudev. He never is seen. I have seen Gurudev's 10,000 pictures. Why? Because in 94, Gurudev left body of that. All the books were to be brought out and all. We were the ones seated and sorting out and all. So many things in Delhi long back. 94 में 30 साल पहले. तो photos so many seen. Not even one photo I found him miserable or frowning or frustrated or feeling burdened. With all the days spent only in service. है ना? Nowhere. See, where from it has come? He has created from within. He has decided, I must do this work, I must do it joyfully. If I decide, nobody can disturb me. If I don't, if I decide the other way also, nobody can help me. So putting all this together is spirituality. Let us be blessed in this regard by the divine, and may we realize those blessings and make use of them. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavadu, Sahanao Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Om Viditanamaya Vishadaika Kala Nacha Kinchana Kanchanamasti Guru Dhrutameva Vidhehi Krupam Sahacham Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Nandvatītam Gaganasatusham Tattvamasyaदिलक्ष्यम् Ekam Nityam Vimalachalam Sarvadhi Sakshim Bhutam Bhavatītam Triguణरहितं Sadgurum Tannamami Parambrahmane Shrutimatre Samasta Brahma Vidya Bhakti Vidya Brahma Vidya Acharyebhyo Rishibhyo Munibhyo Gurubhyo Devatabhyo Namaha Shri Aitareya Upanishadha Acharyebhyo Namaha Shri Vedavyasa Maharshi Aitareya Maharshi Adi Shankara Maharshebhyo Namaha Asmadgurubhyo Namaha Sankalpaha Sarvesham Tesham Kripanugrahena Asmin Kshane eva Upanishadukta Brahmatmaikya Bodha Kaivalya Moksha Praptyartham Sanatana Dharmasya Vaidika Hindava Samskrutehe Sampradayanam Sadhananam Shastranam Vedantanam Bhakti Yogadi Sadhananam Prakriyanam Punaruthana Jagarana Samasta Vishwa Vyapti Dwara Samasta Vishwa Jiva Adhyatmika Pragati Dwara Vishwa Shanti Kalyana Ekata Samarasya Purovidyartham Asmin Karmani Nishtita Asmakam Saha Samasta धर्म संस्थापक आचार्य सेवक भक्त गुरु संस्थानां पूर्णायुरारोग्यैश्वर्य क्षेम स्थैर्य धैर्य वीर्यादि समस्त शक्ति संपदा सानुकूल्यता साधनानां प्राप्ति बाह्य अभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्य दिग्विजयार्थम श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयारण्यकांतर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषद पारायण आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं सर्वे करिष्यामहे आदौ पारायणम् ओम ॐ मनस्तावतमशान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभाति तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम् ओमदश्री ऋग्वेदान्तर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषद् शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य माणिस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन होरात्रान् सन्धदामृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तत् वक्तारमवत्वतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Friends, in our last 2 months, today 61st day, correct completely first adhyaya having 3 khanda, we have done the adhyanam. We have 2 more adhyayas. Each of them have only one khanda. So let us enter into the second adhyaya as we do every time. Let us do the parayana of the mantras of the second adhyaya, only one khanda it has. Then the huge 10 pages Bhashya Adi Shankara has given. Wherever we can find the ability to understand, we go through it. There are very many very sublime, subtle things at our present mind's level of concentration or no concentration, subtlety or no subtlety. We may or may not be able to grasp it. Okay, we should know the limitations at different stages, accept them, know that at that limitation level, such that thing cannot be done. Wait for it. If not today, some other day, that ability will come. In spirituality, that chance is there. In the world, also in the next life, if we miss something in this life, we may get it. But limitations, knowing and not getting frustrated, with full patience, extra effort when we put, we'll be able to achieve success in whichever the field where we did not succeed in the initial attempts for various shortcomings. So here also, in the Bhashyam, we'll try to ponder over any places we are stuck up, we leave it to Adi Shankara and Vyasa Bhagavan, Aitareya Rishi to bless us. Okay. Now let us chant Om Athadvitiyodhyayah Prathamah Khandaha Om Purushe Hava Ayamadito Garbho Bhavati Yatetat Retaha Tadetat Sarvebhyo Angebhyah Tejaha Sambhutam Atmani Eva Atmanam Bibharti Tat Yada Striyam Sinchati Atha Enat Janayati तद् अस्य प्रथमं जन्म तत् स्त्रिया आत्मभूयं गच्छति यथा स्वमङ्गं तथा तस्मात् एनां न हिनस्ति सा अस्य एतम् आत्मानम् अत्र गतं भावयति सा भावयित्री भावयितव्या भवति तं स्त्री गर्भं बिभर्ति सः अग्रे एव कुमारं जन्मनः अग्रे अधिभावयति सः स यत् कुमारं जन्मनः अग्रे अभिधावयति आत्मानम् एव तद्भावयति येषां लोकानां सन्तत्या एवं सन्तता हि इमे लोकाः तद् अस्य द्वितीयं जन्म सः अस्य अयम् आत्मा पुण्येभ्यः कर्मभ्यः प्रतिधीयते अथ अस्य अयम् इतरः आत्मा कृतकृत्यः वयोगतः प्रएति सः इतः प्रयन् एव पुनर्जायते तदस्य तृतीयं जन्म तदुक्तं ऋषिणा गर्भेऽनुसन् अन्वेषाम् अवेदम् अहं देवानां जनिमानि विश्वा शतं मा पुर आयसीः अरक्षन् अधः शेनो जवसा निरदीयम् इति गर्भ एव तत् शयानः वामदेवः एवम् उवाच स एवं विद्वान् अस्मात् शरीरभेदात् ऊर्ध्वमुत्क्रम्य अमुष्मिन् स्वर्गे लोके सर्वान् कामान् आप्त्वा अमृतः समभवत् समभवत् ओम शांति शांति शांति. There are 6 mantras, dear friends. Thus, in this second adhyaya, which has only one khand. Now, let us start by God's Guru's grace, the Sambandha Bhashya of this second adhyaya of the Aitareya Upanishad, which we are studying. In that, the first portion itself is very, 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 very essential and crucial for us to listen, grasp, understand, accept, which is not at all difficult. So, straight away, the second. Om Athadvitiyodhyayah Prastavana Sambandha Bhashyam. See, carefully listen. First sentence. Ki Asmin Chaturthe Adhyaye Esha Vakyartha. Some places Asmin Adhyaye they started. Chaturthe they don't write. The Chaturtha Adhyaya is the first Adhyaya of the Upanishad. How come it is Chaturtha then? It is the Chaturtha in the Aitareya Aranyaka in the Upanishad. Sorry, in the Veda. In a Rigveda mein Aitareya Aranyak hua. That Aranyak has got 6 chapters. In that the first 3 chapters dealt with Karma Kanda Ityadi. They were not a part of Upanishad. So next 3 chapters are this Aitareya Upanishad. So in the Aitareya Upanishad, when you take exclusively, it's the chapter 1. Total Aitareya Aranyaka, if you take, it's the 4th Adhyaya, like Gita. If you take from Anushasanika Parva standpoint, S.R. Bhishma Parva, the chapter 1 of Gita is 25th chapter there. Chapter 18 will be 42. But when you take Gita as separate text, then Arjuna Vishad Yoga is the first chapter. In the same way, that which we have studied as first chapter of Aitareya Upanishad is the 4th chapter of Aitareya Aranyaka. So the Bhashyakara referring it to with respect to the total Aranyaka, they were saying Asmin Chaturthe Adhyaya. Don't get confused. अरे एक ही पढ़ा आप 4 बोल तो 4 है ही नहीं, इसमें है ही 3. You are right. But Chaturtha corresponding with respect to the entire Veda Aranyaka. So out of 6 Aranyakas, 6 Adhyayas of the Aitareya Aranyaka, the 4th Adhyaya is equal to the first Adhyaya of the Aitareya Upanishad. So, Asmin Chaturthe Adhyaye, in this 4th Adhyaya, that means the first chapter of the Aitareya Upanishad, Esha Vakyartha. This is a Vakyartha. Be attentive here. कि क्या है ना, so many things we have heard in this first adhyaya, and we may tend to tentatively accept that all of that is truth. Be attentive. Second is what? And all that is the purpose of the Upanishad. वो जो कहा है वो सत्य है, और वो कहना ही उपनिषद का उद्देश्य है. दिस अंडरस्टैंडिंग वी मे कम टू. भगवान शंकर इज करेक्टिंग इट by saying that is not correct understanding, or that is not the purpose of the Upanishad, or that's not the purpose for which all these detailed descriptions are given. How important it is, you see, the subject in general also, when you interact with some person for some time, what is the outcome was expected and gained, we must know. Isn't it like the interview? The whole interview done by the interviewer to the interviewed, purpose is what? Is that fellow worthy for this job or not, to know? That's the purpose. Not all the questions he asked, the fellow he answered. Nahi hai. Like any exams we write of physics, chemistry in schools and all, whether we have studied that subject and mastered or not. And so therefore we are qualified to be pushed into next level of learning, called as next level of class. For that the test is done, not for only um, asking him to give answers to those questions. This is actually education way. Purpose of having test is that. नॉट नोइंग दिस, पास होने के लिए वो वाला सब्जेक्ट पढ़ के, है ना, पीछे बचपन में वही करते थे, वही पढ़ते थे, फिर वो का चीटियां भी बनाकर ना, कॉपिंग का वही लिखकर पास भी हो जाते, कभी फर्स्ट भी आना. These are all insult and laughable thing on education. This is not study. Study is for two purposes. One is particular subject is studied. Second is the habit of studying, learning knowledge, and gaining is created. Because as a human being, we can evolve. Evolution is only through ज्ञानम. तो ज्ञान अभ्यास, एक तो विशेष ज्ञान अभ्यास होता है फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री. सेकंड इज अविशेष ज्ञान अभ्यास, इन द सेंस यू आर ऑलवेज अवेयर ऑफ putting effort to update your knowledge or gain the knowledge. For the sake of that, the schools and colleges. Not that physics, chemistry, ये क्वेश्चन रिकॉर्ड ऑलरेडी डिस्कवर कर ही लिया है, दुकान में अवेलेबल है, why should he study? What teachers, students are taught in physics, chemistry, are they new things or what? 100 साल से वही चल रहा है. Everybody knows. But why is taught? For this purpose of making him learn, and a habit of learning. In the same way, uddeshya. Everywhere there is uddeshya, like wife, husband, boy, man, woman got married. So that marriage का उद्देश्य अलग होता है. It's not only which hangama, spending lakhs of rupees getting them married. ये very superficial. The uddesha of the marriage is totally different. If that is not taught by the parents, by Panditji on the day of marriage, and the couple newly married, if they are not living that purpose, then what do you call, all that hangama was waste. Everywhere it is like. Here also, yes, a beautiful prasanga in a katha rupa we heard. But is it that to say that this is how the Lord created the world and thus the creation is real? ये बताने के लिए है कसम बताया? No. That is why Bhagavan Adi Shankara's Krupa on all of us. This is the meaning of Shruti Mata teaching Parokshena, Shankara Bhagavan coming into explaining us Pratyakshena. Parokshena is she taught indirectly something else. Directly is something else shown. Like directly the teacher shows the danda. Indirectly means if you don't do the homework, you will be beaten by this. So the indirectly what is taught is brought to our notice directly by Shankara in this introductory Bhashya. Therefore, the sentence starts like this: कि अस्मिन् चतुर्थे अध्याये एषः वाक्यार्थः. वाक्य means the whole 4 अध्याय का first, 4th अध्याय और first अध्याय, the 3 खंड, this is the artha. Big sentence is said. एष वाक्यार्थः or एष वाक्यार्थः. So important it is, which we have seen 10 times already while studying the Upanishad. Here with Shankara Bhashya authority we are studying. what is said is जगद उत्पत्ति स्थिति प्रलय कृत. Okay, Jagat Utpatti, creation of the world, Jagat Sthiti, maintenance of the world, Jagat Pralaya, dissolution of the world, Krut, karne wala. So Jagat Utpatti Krut, Jagat Sthiti Krut, Jagat Laya Krut. Krut means karne wala. कोई है. To bring our attention to him. All this is said. Not to bring our attention to the Utpatti Sthiti Laya of the Jagat and any things that are there. दृष्टि हमारे इन तीनों के कर्ता के ऊपर लाने के लिए ये बताया. नॉट टू बिलीव द सृष्टि स्थिति लिया एज अ रियल. Anyway, we are believing, no? That is why we are 100% samsari. If the Upanishad also comes to tell us the same thing, that the world is really created, it is in front of you, therefore indulge. What is the difference between the Paravidya and the Aparavidyas? Therefore, Bhashyakara has to be very subtly. That's what today's introduction. If we gain that subtle antakarana, these deeply hinted, indicated things we catch, which is the purpose of the whole Vedanta, whole Adhyatmikata. So, Jagat Srishti Sthiti Laya Krut. इतना आ गया ना. जगत उत्पत्ति स्थिति लय कृत रीति. जगत उत्पत्ति स्थिति प्रलय कृत. पॉइंट 1. सेकंड, असंसारी. The one who never becomes samsari while doing all these three. What is a samsara? Where you get identified with anything and allow that thing to influence you. That's called samsara. Identify with anything and influenced by it. Samsara. Any million of example. Like somebody in the airport waiting for the flight's announcement is seated there. So there is one another family, a couple, a small child. Of this old man or old woman looking at the child, feeling so cute, making little funny expressions like monkey chimpanzee, tries to make that child happy. Child also naturally, when some joke is seen or joker is seen, the child will be happy. No, he is laughing, smiling it. And then this man is so happy that I made that child happy or laugh. No, all of them is not called for there. He just related to that child for no reason and expressed all this nonsense. This is called samsara. It has nothing to do with his journey. But he felt some urge inside it, then he did it. It's like that. Samsara is that where we associate identity with something in some other relativity and allow that to influence us. In this way, if you see everything other than being one with the self is samsara only. That's how we have to be very clear in the definition, and thus, according to the definition, we have to work out. So, this Paramatma is Jagad Utpatti Sthiti Pralaya Krut but Asamsari. तो इसमें एक मजेदार बात है ना. परमात्मा पूरा सृष्टि स्थिति लय करके of infinite world is not a samsari. And you and I make a small house or a company or one child, we are so much samsari. Therefore, in how much you are involved in the world, what you have done, that doesn't decide our samsari or asamsari. How much you are identified with that, that decides samsari. Do little but identify, you are a samsari. Everything is done but non-attachment, you are not a samsari, you are a Ishvara. Puja Gurudev. How many thousands of families he has guided and helped them, na? But is he become a samsari? No. But ourselves एक फैमिली, उसमें एक ही बच्चा, बस वो उसको जिंदगी भर उसी में तबाह हो गया भर. And we don't even realize it. We are not available for the gurus to tell us कहाँ फंसे हो बाबा. तो उसको 1 घंटा टाइम दो, बाकी तेज अपना साधना करो. नहीं, 24 घंटे संसारी. Amma, why didn't you come to satsang from last 30 years? Now you are coming. Swamiji, first I was guiding my husband, then children, then grandchildren, great grandchildren. Now everybody kicked me. Now I have nobody to go. Then I'm coming to you. Isn't it? विचित्र जीवन. अब चलता है सब, तमाशा देखो, फ्री एंटरटेनमेंट. सो जगत उत्पत्ति स्थिति प्रलय कृत, 1 point. असंसारी, 2. Third one is सर्वज्ञः. सर्वज्ञः means सर्वम जानाति, है ना. सर्वज्ञः सर्वम जानाति is he knows everything to be himself, and himself when he is creating the world he knows everything how to create what for. That सर्वज्ञः. पूरा सेंटेंस सुनने के बाद बात पूरा समझ में आएगा, बात पूरा समझ में. सर्वज्ञः, then सर्वशक्ति ही, the one who is all powerful. Yesterday this shabd came, या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्ति रूपेण संस्थिता. 16 minutes we talked on that. How many Shaktis we talked about? Ichcha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Then the other 12, 13 Shaktis we talked about. Sharira, Indriya, Mana, Buddhya, Adi Shakti. Then general Shaktis we spoke about. The Dhana Shakti, the Jana Shakti, the Power Shakti, the Political Shakti, the Vidyut Shakti, the Natural Shakti, Panchamaha Bhautika Shakti. Do you remember yesterday? Do you remember yesterday, first of all? In that, did you remember yesterday evening? In that evening class, in the class, Ya Devi Sarabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita. So Sarva Shakti He is the one whose are all Shaktis, and those all Shaktis of him are infinite. सारे शक्तियां उनके हैं और उनके ये शक्तियां अनंत है. Feel the meaning of every of these things. So Sarvam Janati Atmaswarupena is Sarvagni. Sarva Shakti, all Shaktis are his, and his Shaktis are infinite. Third one, Sarva Vitu. So the Sarva Vit is with regard to the individual things. Like knowing wholesale mein Sarvagna. Only knowing retail mein Sarvavit. This has come in Mundaka Upanishad. Yes, Sarvagnya Sarvavito, Yasya Jnanamayam Tabaha, Tasmad Etad Brahmanama Rupa Vannam Chajayate. है ना मुंडक उपनिषद, फर्स्ट मुंडका, फर्स्ट खंडा, लास्ट मंत्र आई थिंक. So how many things are done? 3 things are told. 1, Sushti Sthiti Pralaya Krut. Second, yet asamsari. Third, for doing so, he has got Sarvajnata, he has got Sarva Shaktimatta, and he is Sarvavit also. So Sarvavit in general, the whole Sarvagna is in general the whole medicine, its purpose, everything known. Sarvagna. General example. Sarvavit means what? In that a particular patient has come with particular problem, he knows about it and how to treat. He is Sarvavit. Like in general, all Upanishads we know, but particularly one Upanishad we are studying. Sarvagna, Sarvashakti. ये एग्जाम्पल नहीं बैठता इधर, बट बोल दिया. सो सर्वज्ञ सर्ववित्तु. 2 हो गए. देन 3 हो गए. देन नेक्स्ट वन व्हाट? सच परमात्मा सर्वम इदम जगतु, द एंटायर दिस वर्ल्ड विदाउट लिविंग एनीथिंग. सर्व इदम जगत स्वतः. स्वतः मीन्स by himself and from himself. Anyad vastu antaram. Anyat vastu antaram anupadaya eva. Without depending on or taking any other vastu. Anyat means some other than himself. Vastu antaram is any other object. Anupadaya, without taking its help at all. 2 बातें समझ लेना. 1, स्वतः means from his own self. To complete that sentence, from his own self. The other sentence is Anyad Vastvantaram Anupadaya Eva. From himself means without taking the help of anything other than himself. Eva. In this way only he has done the creation. What? Akashadi Kramena Sruštva. He Akashadi Krama not given in this Upanishad, but that is there in Taittiriya. तो तैत्तरीय ये तो सब उपनिषद एक ही ब्रह्म विद्या बोलते हैं. यहाँ जो नहीं बोला वो इधर लाया है, उधर से, है ना. तस्माद्वाय तस्माद् आत्मना आकाश संभूतः. In so many Upanishads it is given. So सृष्ट्वा क्रमेण आकाशादि सृष्ट्वा, आकाशादि क्रमेण सृष्ट्वा. The next one is very important. So Atma Prabodhanartham, for himself becoming aware or available for himself or for the jivas. जीवों का प्रबोधन अनुभव के लिए या ज्ञान पाने के हेतु व्हाट डिड ही डू? सर्वाणि च प्राणादिमत शरीराणि, सर्वाणि प्राणादिमत शरीराणि, all the bodies which have the prana in them, into that swayam pravivesha, he himself has entered. Pravishya, having entered, swam atmanam, his own essential self, yatha bhutam, as it is in his own essential nature, ki idam brahma asmi iti, that the whole thing is Brahman alone and that Brahman is me. Iti sakshat pratyabudhyata. He has awakened to that experience that I am that Brahman. Tasmat, therefore, saha eva sarva sharireshu eka eva atma na anya iti. Dekho, wah, I tell you, it's such a beautiful, most important thing in the context of the Upanishadic Adhyanam. Okay, the entire Vakya Visheshartha kya hai na? Before telling the final main artha of the entire katha that is told in the first Adhyaya, what is told there, he has summarized. After summarizing the whole story or the three khandas or first Adhyaya, now he says, what is the purpose of this whole thing that is taught in the first Adhyaya? Purpose. That is the Shuruat Vayuvana Asmin Chaturthi Adhyaya Esha Vakyartha. That this is the Vakyartha, this is the main purpose, this is the main meaning. That he will tell later. Before that, he summarized what was there in that Chaturtha Adhyaya or the Prathama Adhyaya. Chaturtha from Veda standpoint or next standpoint, first from the Aitareya Upanishad standpoint. See the flow of it. Interesting. And now that Paramatma, what did he do? Again I am telling. Who is that Paramatma? The Jagad Utpatti Sthiti Pralaya Krut. Jagad Utpatti Sthiti Pralaya Karne Wale Bhagavan Asamsari. Even though he has done it, he has not become samsari. How he could do it? Because he was Sarvajna and Sarvashakti and Sarvaita. Such Bhagavan, Sarvavidam Jagat, all this entire world, Swataha, from his own self, Anyad Vastuvantara Anupadaya Eva, without taking up anything else other than himself, he created the world. How he created started? Akashadi Kramena Sruštva. This Akashadi Kramena, you have to take the help from Taittiriya Upanishad up to that Annam, and then he entered. Waha tak waha se humko help mein lena hai. So Akashadi Kramena Sruštva. है ना. तस्माद्वाय तस्माद् आत्मना आकाश संबुध आकाशाद् वायु वायुरग्नि अग्निराभः अद्य पृथ्वी पृथिव्या औषधयः औषधिभ्यो अन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः. सो एष पुरुषोन्नर समयः, पुरुष अन्न रसमयः. वहां तक, वहां से यहाँ बारो करना है सेंटेंस. सो आकाशादि क्रमेण सृष्ट्वा, up to the variety of the individuals he has created. वहां तक ले आकर के, now the next sentence is what? Main important is this one. So Atma Prabodhanartham, for becoming available for the jivas to discover their identity with this Brahma Tattva. Okay, for that sake, what did he do? So Atma Prabodhanartham Sarvani cha pranadimat sharirani swayam pravivesha, into all those bodies which were endowed with the prana, he has entered. So two sentences. Why he created and why he entered the whole individual bodies is only for becoming available for the jivas to discover their identity with them, with him, and get realized. Try to sort out this sentence in your heart, every one of you, please. Sort out the understanding of it unambiguously. The Paramatma created the world and entered into the world only for the jivas to get identified with him. Thus, they get liberation. That's why I said any confusions in this understanding, sort out. And there's no confusion. Bhashyakara is telling us both things. One, why the story of creation is said. Second, even if that creation is real, what is its purpose? Not to get lost in the creation, which are already get lost. The purpose is what? Swatma prabodhanartham pravivesha. Swayam pravivesha. He has entered into that for the sake of being available to the sadhakas to identify with him and get liberated from their limitations and finitudes. So both aspects, created and he entered. Why all of them? Whether it is said in this Upanishad or other Upanishad or any Upanishad it is said, and even if really the world is there, let for example sake, they give that benefit of doubt, later on it will be thwarted. Even all of that is what Swatma Prabodhanartham is underline karna. So therefore, creation created or creation imagined or creation explained. है ना? If you मानो created ठीक है, imagine ठीक है, you explain ठीक है, but the purpose is not these three. है ना? Purpose is for Swatma Prabodhanartham. For me to get identified with my this inner self, the Paramatma, that all this is said. And we have already while studying told you, by being explaining the entry of Paramatma inside, we are given a क्या है, a proof that a clear explanation for our faith that the Bhagavan is there inside me now. I have to recognize him inside, not outside. अंतर्मुख बनकर अंदर छिपे परमात्मा को पहचानने के लिए परमात्मा अंदर पहुंच गए, ये बताया गया. Taittiriya also is otherwise he is everywhere there. How can you say he has entered? So in this Aitareya Upanishad also, katam me madrute syad iti koham iti. All of that then, Simanam Vidharya Etaya Dwara Prapadyata. The entry. So Bhagavan created world. In that he has created human body. In that human body, he through Simanam entered. I all these explained for what? For us to discover that Paramatma in this very human body when we are alive as a human. Why it is said that he is in human, not guy and all the horse, etc.? Because they were also meant only to say that in those yonis, though Paramatma is there inside, but for that jiva who is there as a cow or a horse, he has no faculties to recognize that Paramatma. Whereas in human being, why Bhagavan entered? It is said like that because for a human being, there is a chance for him to discover that Paramatma very much in his own heart. Of course, once it is discovered, everywhere there is only one परमात्मा, nothing other than him is real. वो तो बात की बात, ये तो दर्शन होने के बाद. बट दर्शन हेतु ये सब बताया. As a human only I can recognize the self because human equipment alone is fit for that. Yesterday day before in some other text that came, no आजकल मैं भी भूल रहा हूँ फटाफट सब चीजें. Quickly it doesn't click. Somewhere we have seen. See, is it getting clear? वाक्यार्थ में हम आ रहे हैं, अभी नहीं आए. नेक्स्ट विल द वाक्यार्थ. वाक्यार्थ के ऊपर ही बहुत विश्लेषण होगा. वाक्यार्थ मीन्स द होल पर्पस ऑफ दिस creation and entry explained in this or in any Upanishad or in the whole world. One question हो, पूरा भगवान ने दुनिया क्यों बनाए? है ना? सिनेमा गाना दुनिया बनाने वाले क्या तेरे मन में समाई तूने काहे को दुनिया. एक ही पर्पस उस दुनिया में मनुष्य को बनाया, मनुष्य के अंदर घुस गए and that मनुष्य should become introverted and to discover himself there भगवान entered. Any other purpose is only deluding. Any purpose attributed is deluding. You may pursue that purpose, you may reach somewhere, but that somewhere is nowhere. See the Bhashyakara, that flow, that's the beauty of it. Na? कि जगदुत्पत्ति स्थिति प्रलयकृत असंसारी सर्वज्ञ सर्वशक्ति सर्ववित् सर्वमिदं जगत् स्वतः अन्यद्वस्तु अंतरम अनुपादाय एव आकाशादि क्रमेण सृष्ट्वा स्व आत्मप्रबोधनार्थं सर्वाणि च प्राणादिमत् शरीराणि स्वयं प्रविवेश. एक सेंटेंस पूरा. The Lord who is Sarvagna, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavit, the one who is Utpatti Sthita Pralaya Karaka, he only, from the Akasha onwards, having created the entire thing, all the Shariras he himself entered. Okay. And Srushta Pravivesha. What for he has done entry? He, in creation as well as entry, that one word main sentence, well, that one word is more important. Usko mat bolna. Baki sara meaningless without that the hub like word. What is that word? So Atma Prabodhanartham. So his creation also, and in that creation is creation of human being also, and in the created human being, his entry also for so Atma Prabodhanartham. Here Swatma Prabodhana means what? I myself consider now with the Upadhis as Jiva, no. But I am not this. I am really that Paramatma. And where to identify that Paramatma with? Where is available? In your own heart. For me as a Jiva who am suffering now, or samsari, for me to recognize my oneness with that Paramatma Tattva, that the Paramatma entered in the heart is told, that story. Neither creation happened nor the Lord entered. But that is how we recognize ourselves. These are very sublime things. As we said in the introduction, when the Sukshmati Sukshma Buddhi, when we develop, with few lives of Upasana of Guru and all, at that time, what is said through these words is understood. I may say the words with one meaning, what the deep meaning, but whether you, after listening to the words, same thing you understand it or not, depends on where you stand. So what Gurudev says from his experience standpoint to me, when I listen to him, what I understand depends on what state I am. And the highest stage, exactly what Guru says, that I catch. Today, these all things we talk, not today, tomorrow in our Patanjali Yoga Darshan. Maybe today only. Satyam jo kehte hain wahan. So, if you say it in nutshell form, like in Ramayana, Rama born to Dasharatha, married to Sita, Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, Rama went and killed Ravana and brought Sita. Okay, Ramayana. In the same way, the Paramatma created the world, created human, entered in that only for that human jiva to recognize he is that Paramatma Tattva. So Atma Prabodhanartha. That Prabodhana word is using kenapi Paramakarunekena Acharyena Atma Prabodhakrut Vakya Mahavakya. Prabodha. Same Ramji is also talking Prabodha, awakening, awakening. So, Pravishya cha. Having entered. Swatma Prabodhartham, he created and entered. Having entered, then has he fulfilled his mission of all these or not? It is said. Ki pravishya cha samatmanam yatha bhutam idam brahma asmi iti sakshat pratyabudhyata. Having entered, then he recognized himself to be that Brahman, that Atma. The Upanishad contained this topic also. Simanam vidarya etada dvara prapadyata एतद नांदनम नाम विद्रुतिर नाम द्वाहा नांदनम इति. वहां रोक नहीं दिया. The subject in the Upanishad not started there. After that was the main thing started. Then Kimidam Bhavadishaditi, he started inquiring. Then he came to know what ki Narayana. Sajata Bhutani Abhivekyatu Kimihanyam Bhavadishaditi. Then the Upanishad clearly said, Saha etameva purusham brahma tata mama pashyatu. And clarity, idam adarsham. Having inquired, he discovered that this self is nothing but Brahman, and that Brahman is me, and I have experienced that. So, 3 stages क्या हो गए? 3 or 4 let us say. First, he created the world. Second, he entered into the human sharira. Third, he entered into the human sharira for that human body identified jiva to recognize his oneness with that Brahman. Fourth, has he recognized or not? Most important, he through inquiry has recognized. अधूरा नहीं छोड़ रहा है उपनिषद. It is completing. स एतमेव पुरुषं ब्रह्म ततमपश्यत्. इददर्शमिति, which we talked as अध्यारोप and अपवाद. अपवाद हो गया कि नहीं? He has realized his self or not realized. That's what Bhashyakara says here. Pravishya cha, having entered, for which purpose? So Atma Prabodhanartham ka na? So that's Atma Prabodhana purpose fulfilled or not? Yeah, Pravishya cha, sam Atmanam yatha bhutam idam Brahma ahamasmi iti sakshat pratibuddhit. In between hundreds of lives he has gone through and he suffered. He was in that slumber and stupor. How many ever number of these dukkhas were beating him with like a mace blow, yet he was not awakened. And then the Paramakarmika Acharya somehow came in his life and in his karna, he gave this very nada of the Mahavakya. Then he has got up. All of that Shankara will not repeat. We should understand. In between these two stages of his entry and his awakening, all this drama of getting identified, suffering of jivas many lives, never waking up by himself, though all experiences have come to wake him up. Finally, a Paramakarmika Acharya came and gave Mahavakya Bodha to him. Through that, he awakened to his essential self. ये पूरा हमको ऐड करते हुए समझना है. ग्रेट द गुरुज ऑफ आदि शंकरा और दिस ऐतरेय उपनिषद, वो लोग फिल अप द ब्लैंक्स छोड़ते हुए आगे जाते हैं. वी हैव टू फिल देम अप. इन पुराना ऐसा नहीं हो, डबल सुनाते हो वही सेम चीज. That's why the bulkiness of Puranas and very precise Sutra Rupa of the Upanishads. Anyway, so Tasmat. Now comes the Vakyartha. This we will be dealing exhaustively tomorrow. Tasmat, therefore, Saha Eva, that Parabrahma Paramatma alone, Sarva Sharireshu, in all the Shariras, Ekaha Eva Atma. He is the one without second Atma, Na Anyaditi. There is nobody other than him in every of the being. This is the purpose for which all these three khandas of the first adhyaya were discussed or dealt with or explained or talked. Isn't it? Like 3 days, India, China, discussion about a border. Whatever they discuss 3 days, every day 8 hours. The final is what? अब तुम्हारे पास ताकत कम है, तुम लड़ नहीं कर सकते, मेरे पास ताकत कम है, मैं नहीं लड़ सकता, बेकार में खून खराबा नहीं चाहिए. This is the outer purpose right now. India never becomes aggressive to attack. Those fellows look for our weakness to attack. That's anyway their nature. But the purpose of these 3 days of meeting is this. In the same way, the whole thing is said for this purpose and that purpose is achieved. Having achieved that purpose which is said in the Upanishad, now Bhagavan Bhashyakara is giving us the Jnanam. Therefore, my dear friends, through these Upanishads, what we have to understand is that same Brahman alone is there in each and every being. And he is one without second. तस्मात् सह एव सर्व शरीरेषु एक एव आत्मा न अन्यदिति. This knowledge should click to us. For that purpose, all the creation and entry into human. No, entry into human kaha matlab not one human, no. Every human he has entered. If he has entered human, has he not entered in the animals? Animals cannot be without Paramatma. But only in the human, the possibility of recognizing himself to be that Brahman is there. Then luckily we are human. If we are animals and seated in the same class like cockroach or chipkali, we would not be listening, no? Like मैं क्लास कर रहा हूँ, इस पूरे हॉल में कम से कम 1,00,000 जीव होंगे, क्योंकि छोटे छोटे सूक्ष्म जीव, नॉट दैट मैं उनको पाल पोस रहा हूँ, दे विल बी देयर इन योर हाउस आल्सो. But all they are listening to Vedanta? No, only human listens. Human only can recognize. So these few things today which discussed, sort them out in your clear understanding, giving some half an hour time in contemplation or 20 minutes. 10 मिनट भी दे दो, थोड़ा सोचते हुए आइडिया आ जाए, है ना. Quickly if you can contemplate. Therefore, what has been told in the chapter 1, 3 khandas about the Srishti and Pravesh and realization. So therefore, these all things said for what purpose? Purpose to say that in and through all beings, what is there, which is supporting all of them, is one Atma, one Brahman only. Okay, तस्मात् सह एव सर्वशरीरेषु एकः एव आत्मा न अन्यः इति. No, in this one line of 4 6 words, eva word is used 2 times. Why that importance? Starting with that, then other quotations, etc. Then Purva Pakshi's Prashnas, to how Bhagavan Adi Shankara gives answer. In that way, we will be spending at least 3 days, other than today, in trying to understand this Sambandha Bhashya. After this, then the second Adhyaya starts, where the 3 Janma of the Jiva are mentioned. Then we'll be told about Sadhana Siddhi Ityadi in the third Adhyaya. What Upanishad taught, we have to study first thoroughly. And in that only we'll find what is the goal to be reached and how to do it. तो इस तरह अध्ययन करते हैं उपनिषद को, ऐसा पढ़ने से. लेट अस सी टुमारो. ओम 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 पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो परमेश्वरो Brahmane Shruti Matreyam Tatsat Brahmarpanam. Please, friends, today's topic is so crucial from sadhana standpoint, where we have to come to this conclusive conviction that I am a human being only to discover the Lord in my own heart as myself. This नतीजा पे पहुंच गए हम आज. तो ये जो भगवान आदि शंकरा putting all his efforts in Krishi to explain to us, all of that becomes fruitful. Definitely. And it has to happen very deeply, not an intellectual understanding. हाँ, समझ गए स्वामी जी, आप सुबह भी बताए, पिछले 4 साल से वही बता रहे हो. इसलिए मैं कभी कभी, no, deeply I must feel while talking to you. So that means what? All my this lecture baji, my other outer baji, none of them are purposes of life. Purpose and goal of life is to discover the self in me. To facilitate to that, all these are done, because 24 hours one cannot be in meditation, and that off meditation time, other than to meditation, if anything else is done, the samsara will be added. Therefore, do the satsanga and get tired, get rest and get up, do the atma inquiry. For this purpose only I am doing all that. I must understand deeply from inside, such an extent that that alone I do, then no other distraction should distract. इस तरह से अब से हमको उपनिषदों को इस सूक्ष्मता गंभीरता से और अपने आप को जोड़ते हुए समझना है. अभी तक अपने आप को जोड़ा नहीं with this sadhana. बस an intellectual listening we are doing, we have not associated with it, isn't it? We have not associated, like any running race competition you are watching, or kabaddi elders, you are watching it. सडनली किसी ने कहा या आपको मन में लगा कि यार मैं भी जाके खेलूं. The moment मैं भी जाके खेलूं thought आता है, your whole orientation is different to that sports now. है ना? Any example, कोई 4 लोग ताश पत्ते खेल रहे हैं. You are watching it, you are advising also. और ये निकाल वो डाल. Suddenly आपको लगा मैं भी लगू खेलूं. Then the whole attitude is different. Then you sit there, you tell मेरे लिए भी डालो. Then you become more serious than them. And अभी उसको advise करते थे, अभी छूट उसको कैसे cheat करूं मैं, हाँ जीतने के लिए. The whole thing will change everywhere, no? So object is seen in a market. You have seen it. But suddenly when you get a thought that it should be possessed by me, I must buy it, whole attitude is different. Looking at that object, the quantity of it, the quality of it, the cost of it, worthiness of it. In the same way, objectively studying the Vedanta, though it talks about the subjective self, is different from subjectively understanding and accepting it, that it is my goal I have to pursue. So may it happen to all of us. Om Shanti. Chalo tomorrow.